far beyond the edge of the known galaxy, where star maps ended and mystery began, a small group of alien explorers drifted through space. They belonged to the Galactic Coalition, a powerful alliance of many species. Their mission was to explore the unknown, find new worlds, and gather knowledge about lost civilizations. Among the crew was Commander Zorak, a tall, blue-skinned alien with sharp eyes that never missed a detail. Beside him was the scientist, Lyra, a curious and thoughtful woman from the planet Vintar. Together they scanned the dark space ahead, looking for anything unusual. Suddenly, their sensors picked up a strange energy reading, coming from a hidden star system. It was weak but steady, like a faint heartbeat in the vast silence of space. No one in the coalition had recorded anything like this before. The signal did not match any known technology or natural phenomenon. Zorak's voice broke the silence. "What is that?" he asked. Lyra examined the readings closely. "It's some kind of artifact. I can't tell what it does, but it's powerful. We need to investigate." The ship, called the Vanguard, changed course toward the unknown system. As they approached, the stars seemed to grow brighter, and a strange feeling settled over the crew, a mixture of excitement and unease. The star system was empty by all visible signs. No planets, no moons, no stations. But in the center, there was something massive and dark, almost invisible against the blackness. It was a giant structure, old, silent, and mysterious. Lyra stared at the images. "It looks like a machine, but it's unlike anything we have seen." Zorak ordered the Vanguard to move closer. The structure was covered in strange symbols that glowed faintly, pulsing with energy. Their instruments struggled to understand the technology. It was ancient but advanced, far beyond anything in the current galaxy. As the ship entered the structure's shadow, strange things began to happen. The ship's systems flickered and hummed. Communications grew distorted. Even the crew felt odd, as if the machine was alive and watching them. "Stay alert," Zorak warned. "This place is dangerous." Lyra moved to the airlock and prepared the exploration team. The crew was nervous but eager. They wore light suits with basic protection. They didn't know what they would face inside. The airlock opened with a soft hiss, and the team stepped into the alien machine. Inside, the walls shimmered with unknown metals and crystals. The air was still, almost perfect for breathing, but the temperature was cold. The explorers moved slowly through vast halls, filled with strange devices and glowing panels. The symbols on the walls shifted as they walked, almost like they were alive. Lyra carefully scanned everything, trying to learn what this place once was. Suddenly, a large chamber opened before them. In the center stood a massive sphere, floating and spinning slowly. It pulsed with light and energy. Lyra's instruments showed a huge amount of stored power, enough to light entire planets. "This must be a power core," she whispered. "But who built it? And why?" Zorak looked at the sphere with respect and caution. "We may have found something very important, a relic from an ancient civilization that controlled the galaxy long before us." Lyra's eyes widened. "But there is no record of such a civilization in any database." Zorak nodded. "That is why this discovery is so strange. Maybe this civilization was lost or hidden. Maybe we have been looking in the wrong places." As they studied the core, a sudden pulse shot through the room. The sphere glowed brighter and sent waves of energy through the structure. The ship outside trembled, and the crew heard a deep hum that grew louder. The machine was waking up. Lyra stepped back, alarmed. "This might be dangerous. We don't know what it can do." But it was too late. The artifact began to send out a powerful signal. The Vanguard's sensors went wild, detecting waves of energy spreading across the star system and beyond. The signal was complex, a code made of light and sound that seemed to reach for something far away. The crew stared in awe and fear. The message was ancient but alive, a call to the galaxy that had been silent for centuries. Suddenly, a holographic image appeared above the sphere. It showed a figure, tall, strong, and human-looking, but more advanced and glowing with energy. The figure raised a hand as if greeting them. "This is a message from the ancients," the image said in a clear voice, translated by the ship's computers. "We are humanity, the original force that shaped this galaxy. We vanished to protect our power from a great enemy. Our legacy remains hidden, but the time has come to awaken." The crew gasped. Humans? But the Coalition knew humans only as a myth, stories told in history, thought to be extinct or never real. Now here they were, proving that humanity was, once, the most powerful force in the galaxy. Zorak's mind raced. If humanity was the ancient force, why did they disappear? What enemy could be so dangerous that they had to hide? Lyra added, "And why is the signal waking now? What are they warning us about?" Before they could answer, the ship's systems started to stabilize. The machine's pulse slowed, and the signal faded to a faint glow. Zorak ordered the team back to the Vanguard. "We need to report this to the Coalition. This discovery changes everything we thought we knew." As they left the structure, the artifact's symbols dimmed once again, and the star system returned to silence. But the galaxy had been quietly awakened, and a new chapter was about to begin. Back on the Galactic Coalition's main base, Commander Zorak and scientist Lyra prepared to share their discovery. The artifact's message, the ancient human figure, and the powerful signal had shaken the entire Coalition. Many found it hard to believe. Humans were thought to be just legends, myths from old stories told around fires in distant worlds. In the High Council chamber, leaders from many species gathered. Zorak stood before them, his voice steady but filled with excitement. "We have found proof that humanity was once the greatest power in the galaxy. They built machines far beyond our technology, and their knowledge was vast, but they disappeared without a trace." A tall, silver-skinned alien named Vethra, leader of the Vexari people, spoke next. "If humans were so powerful, why do we have no records of them? Why are their ruins hidden so well?" Lyra answered carefully. "We found ruins in a hidden star system, massive structures and machines that were asleep for centuries. They were designed to hide, to protect knowledge and power. The humans left no simple clues, only advanced technology and encrypted messages." The council was stunned. This new information challenged everything they believed about the galaxy's history. The Coalition agreed to send more ships to explore the star system and find more ruins. Lyra joined a team of scientists and archaeologists who studied the data from the artifact. They began decoding the strange symbols and star crystals that contained ancient human knowledge. Days passed as they worked. Slowly, the pieces of the past began to fit together. The ruins were not just machines. They were part of a network, a galaxy-wide system built by humans long ago. This network controlled energy flows between stars, created protective shields around planets, and stored vast libraries of information. It was a hidden web of power and wisdom. Lyra stood before a giant map made of light and crystal in the research hall. "These star crystals contain knowledge written in codes we are just beginning to understand," she said. "They tell stories of a great civilization, humanity, that spread across the galaxy and shaped its future." The map showed hundreds of star systems connected by lines of energy. "This was their reach," Lyra said. "They controlled and protected many worlds." One of the scientists, a small insect-like creature named Grill, pointed at a glowing symbol. "Look here. This system was a center for technology and science. The humans had many worlds like this where they built their greatest inventions." Zorak listened, fascinated. "What happened to them? Why did they leave?" Lyra's eyes darkened. "That is still a mystery, but some clues suggest a hidden war. The humans fought an enemy powerful enough to threaten the entire galaxy. They chose to hide, to protect their legacy until the danger passed." The council debated what to do next. Some leaders feared that awakening human power could upset the balance of the galaxy. Others hoped that humans might return and bring peace. Meanwhile, the Coalition's exploration ships sent back reports of similar ruins in other star systems. Ancient human technology was found everywhere: enormous space stations, weapons, communication hubs, all silent, waiting to be awakened. Lyra and her team worked day and night. They learned to use the ancient machines, slowly reactivating parts of the network. When they powered up one station, a hologram of a human city appeared: shining towers, flying vehicles, and people who looked like those in old Earth stories. The discovery was breathtaking. It was proof that humanity had reached heights no one had imagined. But with this knowledge came new questions. One night, as Lyra studied the data alone, she found a hidden message inside the star crystals. It was a warning. "The enemy we fought is still out there," the message said. "They wait in the shadows. Humanity's time to return will come soon. Until then, protect the secret." Lyra's heart raced. The message confirmed their fears. The galaxy was not safe. An ancient threat had forced humanity into hiding, and that threat might still be alive. She rushed to Zorak with the news. "The warning means the danger isn't gone. We must prepare." Zorak nodded, his face serious. "We need allies. We need to find out more about this enemy before it's too late." The Galactic Coalition began to change. Old rivalries softened as species worked together to study the ancient human legacy. The ruins became places of learning and hope, not just mystery. For the first time in centuries, the galaxy remembered humanity, not as a myth, but as the lost architects of its past. And deep in the dark space beyond known borders, something stirred. The enemy was watching. The Galactic Coalition's excitement over the discovery of humanity's ancient legacy soon turned to concern. The more they learned about the humans, the more questions arose, especially about the enemy that had driven them into hiding. Commander. Zorak and scientist Lyra were at the center of this growing mystery. Their research showed signs of a terrible war that had shaped the galaxy long ago, but no records clearly explained what happened or who the enemy was. Lyra sat in the research hall, studying star crystals that contained fragments of ancient records. The light inside the crystals shifted and danced, showing scenes from a distant past. She watched as holograms of battles, star fleets, and powerful weapons played out before her eyes. "This war was unlike any we have seen," she said softly. "It involved forces so strong that even the mighty human civilization was forced to retreat." Zorak joined her. "Who were they fighting?" Lyra shook her head. "We don't know for sure. The records are incomplete. Some call the enemy the Voidborn, beings of darkness and energy that consume stars and planets." The council grew anxious. The Voidborn sounded like a nightmare come true, a force that could destroy entire worlds without mercy. Zorak stood before the Galactic Coalition Council again, his voice grave. "The humans fought not just for survival, but for the future of the galaxy. Their technology and strategies were far beyond ours, but even they could not defeat the Voidborn completely." A council member from the aquatic Nerian species raised a question. "If the humans could not win, how did they survive?" Lyra answered, "They used a secret plan. They hid their greatest power, their knowledge and themselves, in a place beyond the reach of the Voidborn. They created the artifact we found as a beacon, a call to their allies, if any remained." The council realized the importance of this plan. Humanity had not disappeared by chance. They had chosen to disappear, waiting for the right moment to return. As more ships explored the ruins, they found signs of battles frozen in time, damaged ships, abandoned weapons, and star systems burned and scarred. It was clear that the war had been terrible and galaxy-wide. Meanwhile, strange signals began appearing on the edges of Coalition space. Small fleets of unknown ships appeared and vanished quickly. Some claimed to have seen shadows moving in the darkness, whispering threats of destruction. Zorak and Lyra studied these signals carefully. "It could be the Voidborn returning," Zorak said. "Or their scouts." Lyra nodded. "We must warn the galaxy and prepare." The Coalition's military forces began training for a new kind of war, one that could test every species in their alliances. At the same time, the team working on the ancient human technology made a startling discovery. They found a hidden control center inside one of the ruins. When activated, it revealed a star map with routes to secret human strongholds across the galaxy. Lyra's heart beat faster as she realized what this meant. If we can find these strongholds, we might find humans still alive, or their technology waiting to be used. Zorak smiled grimly. We may be closer to the truth than we think. The search for humanity's hidden places became a race. Every discovery brought hope and danger. One night, Lyra received a secret message through the ancient artifacts communication network. The message was short but clear. We are watching. The time is near. Lyra's hands trembled.
No, we are awake. Zorak looked at her with determination. Then we have no time to lose. We must find the humans and stand ready for the coming battle. The ancient war was no longer history. It was the future.
The message sent through the ancient artifact was clear and urgent. Humanity was no longer silent. The Galactic Coalition was on edge, wondering what this meant for the fragile peace of the galaxy. Commander Zorak stood on the bridge of the Vanguard, his eyes fixed on the stars ahead. The signal came from deep space beyond the outer borders of known systems, he said. It's unlike anything our sensors have ever detected. Lyra, sitting beside him, studied the readings carefully. The energy is enormous and it's growing stronger. It's as if something is waking up after a long sleep. The team gathered around, watching the data flow in. Suddenly, the ship's systems hummed with a new power. The artifact still aboard the Vanguard began to glow softly, pulsing in rhythm with the signal. Lyra's voice was calm but filled with awe. It's responding to the signal, or maybe it's sending one. Then, the ship's main screen flickered and showed a holographic projection of a figure. It was a human, tall, strong, with clear eyes that seemed to look right through the crew. I am the AI guardian of humanity's legacy, the figure said in perfect galactic common. We have watched and waited. The ancient enemy still threatens the galaxy. Only humanity's return can bring balance and hope. The crew gasped. The AI continued. We have hidden ourselves beyond reach, evolving in secret. Our time is near. Prepare yourselves. Zorak and Lyra exchanged a glance. This was more than a message. It was a warning and a promise. The AI explained that humanity had survived by entering a hidden dimension, a place where time flowed differently. There humans evolved with new powers and technology, preparing for the moment when they could return and protect the galaxy from destruction. The Coalition was amazed and uncertain. What did this mean for their place in the universe? Would humanity be friend or foe? While the AI spoke, strange energy waves rippled through space. Sensors detected massive ships appearing from the shadows. Ships unlike anything seen before, sleek and glowing with unknown power. Zorak ordered the fleet to prepare for contact. The ships approached cautiously, ready for either diplomacy or battle. The alien ship stopped at a safe distance, then a new message came through. We come in peace, said a voice, human but stronger, deeper, filled with authority. A delegation of humans appeared on the Vanguard's bridge through a portal of shimmering light. They wore suits of advanced armor, their presence powerful and calm. The humans explained that they had waited for the right time to reveal themselves. Their mission was to help the galaxy prepare for the threat that had once forced them to hide. Lyra asked, "Why did you leave so much behind? Why the silence?" One of the humans, Commander Ellis, replied, "We could not risk our enemies finding us. We sent the artifacts as a call to those ready to listen. Now we return to protect our home, the galaxy." Zorak felt a mixture of hope and caution. Your return changes everything, but the galaxy is fragile. Many fear what your power means. Elisi nodded. We understand fear, but we bring knowledge and strength, not conquest. The Coalition began to work with the returning humans. Together they studied the ancient enemy's movements and planned defenses. Yet tensions remained. Some species worried that humanity's return would mean old wars and new conflicts. Others hoped for peace and unity. Meanwhile, deep in space, the ancient enemy, the Voidborn, watched the awakening with dark eyes. They moved their forces, preparing to strike once more. The galaxy was no longer quiet. It was the dawn of a new war. The stars were no longer calm. Across the galaxy, strange signals filled the silence of space. Ships vanished near the edges of known space. Colonies reported black storms in the sky. Whispers of a dark enemy spread across every planet. The Voidborn had returned. Commander Zorak stood in the war chamber of the Galactic Coalition, staring at the galaxy map. Red dots lit up, signs of attacks. He turned to the others. This is no longer a theory. The Voidborn are real, and they are already here. Beside him stood Lyra and Commander Ellis, the human representative. Ellis was calm, but his eyes were sharp. They are testing your defenses, he said, just like they did long ago. But this time, we are ready. The Council of Species had gathered for a crisis meeting. Leaders from every major race attended, some in person, some as holograms. The air was heavy with fear and tension. Vethra, leader of the Vexari, raised her voice. You humans say you're ready, but how can we trust you? You vanished for thousands of years. We don't know your real goals. Ellis stepped forward, his voice strong but respectful. You fear what you do not understand. That's natural, but our goal is simple. Protect the galaxy just like we did before. We lost everything once. We will not lose again. The hall fell silent. Lyra supported him. We've seen what humans built in the past. Networks of power, cities of light, machines that bent energy. But we've also seen the price they paid. If they wanted control, they could take it now, but instead, they offer help. Finally, the Council agreed to form a joint defense force, humans and coalition species together. Soon, massive fleets gathered near the edge of known space. Ancient human ships, long hidden in deep vaults, now flew beside modern coalition cruisers. They moved toward the border systems where the Voidborn attacks had begun. The first real battle came near the planet Norris Prime. A warning beacon blinked red, then went silent. Zorak led the fleet into orbit. Below them, the planet's skies were dark with swirling clouds. Strange shadows floated in space. The Voidborn had arrived. No one had seen the Voidborn in living memory, only old stories and broken records. But now, they were real. Their ships were black and shifting, almost alive, with jagged edges and glowing red lights. They made no sound. They sent no message. They only attacked. The battle began with a storm of light and fire. Human and coalition forces fought together, side by side. Zorak's ship shook as an energy blast passed near. All units, hold the E line. Human ships moved with perfect coordination, their weapons striking with deadly accuracy. It was clear. They had fought these enemies before. Lyra watched from the command deck. Their tactics match the old records. They're trying to break our formation. Commander Ellis replied, let them try. We've changed too. Then, a massive human warship entered the battle. It was the Solaris, an ancient dreadnought hidden for centuries. Its arrival changed everything. The Solaris fired a beam of pure energy, cutting through the Voidborn forces. One of their largest ships broke apart, vanishing into dust. The enemy began to retreat. The battle ended with Norris Prime safe, for now. Across the galaxy, news spread fast. The humans were not just returning, they were fighting to save everyone. But peace was still far away. After the battle, Lyra found herself standing alone in the observation deck, looking out into the stars. Ellis joined her. You saw them today. The Voidborn are more dangerous than ever. Lyra nodded. But you were right. Without you, we would have lost. Ellis looked at her with a serious expression. This was only a scout force. The real war hasn't begun. They're waking up. Just like we did, she turned to him. Then we need to find a way to end this, once and for all. Back at the Coalition base, the humans shared another part of their hidden knowledge. They revealed the existence of an ancient human weapon, not a bomb or a ship, but a machine that could bend the fabric of space itself. It was called the Core Light. The Core Light was created at the height of our civilization, Ellis explained. It was designed to seal away the Voidborn forever, but we never finished it. Now we must complete what we started. The location of the Core Light was marked on a star map. It was deep in a forgotten region called the Obsidian Expanse, a place so dark and dangerous no ship had returned from it in over 1,000 years. Zorak stepped forward. Then that's where we go. The galaxy stood at a turning point. Humanity had returned not as conquerors, but as protectors. But to win the coming war, they would need every bit of strength, unity, and sacrifice they could find, because the Voidborn were rising, and the final battle was coming soon. The Obsidian Expanse was dark and silent, a vast region where even the brightest stars seemed dim and distant. Ships entering this space reported strange energy disturbances, and many never returned. Yet this was the only place left to find the Core Light, humanity's last hope to end the war with the Voidborn. Commander Zorak stood on the bridge of the Vanguard, flanked by human Commander Ellis and scientist Lyra. The Coalition fleet was small but powerful, a mix of ancient human warships and Coalition cruisers. The air was tense. "This is it," Zorak said quietly. "No turning back." Ellis nodded. "The Core Light is hidden inside the planet Orbis Prime. It's heavily guarded, not just by machines but by Voidborn forces still lurking in the shadows." Lyra pointed to the star map. "The ancient records say the Core Light can seal the Voidborn away. It can bend space to trap them forever." Zorak took a deep breath. "Then we must succeed." The fleet moved forward, entering the expanses. Dark heart. The stars faded until only shadows surrounded them. Suddenly Voidborn ships appeared, more numerous and terrifying than before. Their black hulls shifted like living darkness, glowing with red veins of energy. The battle erupted. Immediately Zorak's ship shook under heavy fire. Lasers and energy blasts filled space as the Coalition fought desperately. Ellis commanded the human dreadnought Solaris to lead the attack. Its massive weapons tore through the enemy, but the Voidborn kept coming, relentless, like a wave. Lyra monitored the artifact's readings. "The Voidborn want to stop us from reaching Orbis Prime. They know what we seek." The fleet pushed forward through the chaos, dodging attacks and striking back hard. As they neared Orbis Prime, a strange energy field blocked their path. The ancient human machines still protected the planet, but they were twisted by Voidborn corruption. Ellis ordered a boarding party to land on the planet and clear the defenses. Zorak, Lyra, and a team of soldiers descended to the surface. The air was thick with dark energy. The ground trembled beneath their feet. They moved through ruins of an ancient human city, half buried and broken. Suddenly Voidborn creatures appeared, monstrous shadows with glowing eyes, moving fast and attacking without mercy. The team fought, bravely, using human weapons and Coalition technology together. Despite their strength, the creatures overwhelmed them. Zorak shouted orders. "Fall back to the Core Light chamber." They raced through tunnels and halls, finally reaching a massive door covered in ancient symbols. Lyra worked quickly to unlock it. Inside, a giant machine hummed with power. The Core Light. It was a sphere of shining energy, held by rings of metal and crystal. Ellis approached it, placing his hands on the control panel. "We must activate it now." Lyra connected the artifact to the Core Light's console. The machine began to glow, light spreading through the chamber. Outside, the Voidborn attacked fiercely, sensing their enemy's final hope. Zorak raised his weapon, defending the entrance as soldiers fought back. Ellis and Lyra worked together, deciphering the last codes to start the Core Light. The energy inside the sphere grew brighter and brighter. Suddenly, the Voidborn burst through the door. A fierce battle followed. Zorak fought fiercely, his weapon cutting through the shadows. Soldiers held the line, buying time. With a final command, Ellis activated the Core Light. A brilliant wave of energy shot out, spreading across the planet and into space. It bent the fabric of space itself, creating a massive barrier. Voidborn ships, caught in the wave, were pulled into a trap, a swirling vortex of light and darkness. The Voidborn screamed in rage as they were sealed away, their dark power fading. The galaxy watched in awe as the energy spread, pushing the Voidborn back beyond the galaxy's edge. The battle was won, but it came at a cost. Many brave warriors were lost. The ancient human machines were damaged beyond repair, and the galaxy would never forget the day humanity returned, not as legends, but as saviors. Zorak, Elis, and Lyra stood together, looking at the calm stars beyond. Elis spoke quietly. "This victory is only the beginning. We have awakened old powers, but also new hopes." Lyra smiled. "Humanity has returned, stronger and wiser. Together, we will protect the galaxy's future." Zorak nodded. "We are no longer alone." The stars shone brighter now, filled with promise. The ancient force of humanity had returned, and the galaxy would never be the same again.